going back to the point you were making, which was
Builders and divers.
builders and divers. So it's in the Quran.
Yeah.
They build things. What type of things what do we have as far as what they built? What did they build for Suleiman? What do you think? Were they behind the building of the pyramids?
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. In the Quran, Allah talked about the basins and other things that they would build for Suleiman. Yeah? If you want to do your research and you want to delve a little bit deep into what scholars have said about that, some of them said that they created basins, and those basins were used to like a crucible to create metals and other sort of metallurgy research. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also subjected to Suleiman like a fountain that would produce brass, some of the scholars said. This one of the blessings and miracles that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to Suleiman. Yeah? But he would have the jinn do some of this work for him. And we know that in the time of Suleiman, he had some ability with glass. So he made a glass floor, which tricked Bilqis into thinking that it was real water. So she lifted up her dress and she went to step on it, but it was glass over water, right? But we know that these basins, how modern glass was created was through basins of water.
Wow. Giant
Basins where you'd pour the glass, molten glass on top, and it would create that effect where when something hits water, it has that sort of steam effect.
I didn't know that.
That's how flat glass was originally made. It was made by pouring molten, and it would create, I forgot the name of the effect. It's like some sort of effect in physics where the heat touches with, steam and it would create the flat glass like that. So when you read some of it, it actually does give an indicator. When Allah says basin, you can actually understand that there's maybe a bit more indicated there than meets the eye, right?
Yeah.
But that's what is mentioned there in the time of Suleiman alayhi salam.
What about abductions, bro? I think this is another sticking point for some people. Like jinn, can they take people? Can they, can they take people away, return them, keep them? Like,
absolutely. I want to quickly mention just a couple more bits on the building of the jinn, because I don't know how much time we got, but I want to get into that a little bit, because this is one of the strange anomalies, archaeological and otherwise, of there being evidence of the jinn historically, where things that shouldn't be or don't seem to fit within the time frame, like the building of the pyramids and the types of techniques used that haven't been replicated since, right? That you could say, look, whether or not the pyramids are built by the jinn or by one of the nations of the sons of Adam from the past, Allah knows best, But I want to get into something that Shaykh al-Islam brought to the table. He talked about one of the masters who used to be visited by the jinn. And that jinn, in the story of Shaykh al-Islam, I know it's not from the time of the Sahaba, excuse me, I know it's not from the time of the Sahaba, but it is from our history. And this predates the UAP topic. And he said that this master used to be visited by a dog that was a jinn. It was a shaitan in the form of a dog. And this particular devil gave him a device. And this device was shiny, like a piece of glass. That was shiny and smooth, and he used to be able to communicate with the jinn through this device, and he could see the jinn and the jinn would see him, and he would ask the shaitan questions and he would answer the questions through this shiny piece of glass, and would show him his followers through it. So he would see his followers and what they're doing. Sounds like we've mentioned this before, it sounds like a description of a modern smartphone in them times. But why it's important to highlight is that if we accept what Shaykh al-Islam said, that these jinn were building things like that in those times, which was like 12th century, 11th century, a good 1,000 years ago almost, then we get to see the capabilities of their building in them days, as well as them being advanced builders in the time of Suleiman. If mankind was able to do it, why would Suleiman need the use of the jinn? Because they were ahead of the time of mankind in the time of Suleiman, and they were ahead of mankind in the time of Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. And looking at what these people like David Grush are purporting, and what the disclosure efforts in America are showing, is that whatever this thing is, this creature that comes in cryptid form and in plasma form, it's also advanced compared to mankind in terms of what it's able to build and design. Yeah. So finishing with the building side of it, absolutely the shayateen or the jinn, as described by Allah in the Quran, matches with what we see in the description of these UAP UFOs.